So you're going to get both of us?
Yeah.
You're hearing me and you're hearing you.
I'm hearing somebody.
How you doing?
Doing okay. How about you?
What are your thoughts looking back on 1 year of one season of doing this stuff?
Well, I mean, I just think back to kind of early since I started working here, and it was sort of a dream to have this podcast. And I mean, I knew that Bloodworks had all these great stories, but I never would have imagined just how, sort of intertwined that they are. And how that just, I think that the first season really sort of illustrates the Bloodworks story in so many ways. I mean, we had this whole plan for different episodes we're going to have, and then COVID-19 happens, and we would change track, and we end up doing this fascinating stuff with Becky Haley on convalescent plasma, and with Vicki Finson about what happens in emergencies, and we have so much more exciting content coming up after that. Our own Sue Nixon. I've known her for years, as you have, and it's just like, we both knew the story, but then just to hear her tell it that way, I just really changed so much of how I conceive of her, as a coworker, as a friend. It's just all intertwined and connected.
These stories, these stories are just they're why we work here, and it's a wonderful thing to discover them. It's more of an honor to tell them.
Absolutely.
And it's really satisfying to listen to them.
Mm-hmm. It is an honor. It's exactly that. When I was interviewing the Williams family about their son Isaac, I just, I had known them, but I just, on a personal level, just got so much closer. We're dear friends now, and just to know what they went through and to be able to sit with them and have them explain what they were thinking, and during and after his treatment, and just kind of where they are now, it's an honor that people are coming to us to tell these stories that can really change people's lives. Kids do get cancer when they're young, as like Isaac was. And hopefully somebody along the way who's in that situation would hear that story and be like, wow, like you can get through it. And they see him like running and playing and jumping around and acting just like a silly 4-year-old. So it's just been a total honor to just see the other side of what we do. We send the blood units off to the hospitals, and that's it. We don't ever hear what happens next.
Yeah, but we do. And now we do. I think of Sue Nixon, and people have cardiac arrests, and there were Good Samaritans there to help her through that. But most of all, she's thinking about the people who've given blood that enabled her to make it through surgeries this year. I think about Tom Newman, who paid it forward and talked about the close to 100 units of blood that his wife required to make it through this horrific thing that happened to her. Yeah. And so where once he was a volunteer, now he's delivering blood for us as a way to pay it forward. And I think about you, and I think about the fact that you've used these 267 units of blood as a testimony to ask other people to do the same. You're also challenging them to do that which is right. We all ought to do this. Like I said, it's an honor to tell these stories. I'm having a lot of fun doing it. People are starting to listen. I can't wait for the next season. You've got some stuff coming up next season. What do you got coming up?
Yeah, last year we were approached by a woman kind of pretty out of the blue who wanted to tell her story about when she was donating blood back over a decade ago, and was asked to sign up to join their stem cell donor registry, and she decided to do it, and thinking, nothing will come of it, probably because it's so unlikely to get called. But I gotta tell you, you'll never believe the ending of that story. I have an interview with Vicki Finson, Vice President of Blood Services, about how the whole COVID response and coming up with, breaking the emergency glass with pretty much no notice, and losing 60% of the blood supply pretty much, or the blood collection capability pretty much overnight, and then inventing the entire concept of a pop-up donor center just because out of necessity.
But, well, the old saying was, necessity is the mother of invention.
That's right, yeah. We learned from the other podcast episode, Vicki's really direct, and I think that people are really going to enjoy that episode when we get it out next season.
I think about one we've got coming up next season about the fear of needles. Yeah. Because we did a survey last year, and the number one reason, Bill, that people don't donate blood, the number one is a fear of needles. Mm-hmm. So we went to the UW Department of Psychiatry, and talked to an expert there. Yep. And then she shared with me some surprising advice.
Yeah.
And you'll have to listen to get it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's compelling stuff.
There's the tease. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, more good things to come. We've got some great stories coming up, and I think it's good for us to tell these because it's the reason that both of us are working here.
Exactly.
Wait till you see, and you'll never guess.
And wait till you see. You'll never, yeah.
But the answer may shock you.